Hi, my name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today we're going to be counting down my top 10 family games. Now, these are not games that are themed after families or whatever, you know. These are games that you can play with your family. We did make sure these are age appropriate. One of the things that I was specifically looking for was trying to find a low starting age, because that's always very tricky, especially for young kids. So, and most of the games on this list, even if the age is pretty high, you could still probably play them with like the single digit kids age zone. So, without further ado, let's count down. Okay, so my number 10 is Noctula, and this is a dice game, and kids can really enjoy playing this because it's, you know, it's got colors, but it's also got, you know, you match numbers, so it's a little educational as well. But that's basically it. You place a pawn on the board, you pick up the dice you need, and then you put them on your little card. You complete the card, you flip it face down. This is by Z-Man Games. I do love this game. It's very fun. And, you know, so the colors and everything will get your kids. You'll probably like the strategy to it. There's not much strategy, so a kid could be able to play with this. Now, this isn't games for kids, I want to point this out, but I do know, like, playing games as a family, sometimes those little kids have to be a factor. It's just life. But, number 10, Noctula. Okay, so number 9 is the game Fossilis by Kids Table Board Gaming. And this game's really fun. You have all these little bones, and you take them out with these tweezers. You have to use, like, oh gosh, what's it called? Plaster. You gotta use plaster to kind of make the bones and everything. And then, and it spends energy and plaster, and you build up points by more dinosaurs you manage to fully complete. You can also partially complete them to give you points. That's really cool. We did do a how to play video not that long ago, so I will link that in this video, so you can check that out. It's really fun. Plus, I know a lot of kids do like dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool. Go figure, you know. But number 9, Fossilis. Okay, so number 8 is The Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters by Mattel Games. This game is pretty fun. I know this is one of Jordan's favorite games. It's got these little ghosts that she thinks is adorable. I don't know. I think they look weird. They look like Shy Guys, in my opinion. They look like Shy Guys from Mario games. Jordan's like, I don't know what that is. But in this game, you have to go around collecting these treasures. You have to take them out of the mansion. Once you have all of the gems out of the mansion, and you and all your partners, your companions are out of the mansion, then you win the game. However, if it's overrun by terrors, that's what they're called, these red ghosts, then you lose. It's kind of a race against the clock. It's fairly easy. There are modifications that you can make to the game to make the game easier or harder, so depending on the level you can play, so you don't have to play like 100% like, you know, this is so easy. There's also an expansion called The Creepy Cellar, which Jordan got recently, and she probably wants to try it out with the expansion at some point. She said something about goo. Oh, she said I do. She's not supposed to say that until July 30th, but she says I do. Okay, so number 8, Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunter. Okay, so number 7 is The King of Tokyo. I do like this game. You get to pick like a big monster standee. You roll dice. You know, you can like get a certain number of hits. This is by Yellow Games, by the way. Certain number of hits. This is the second edition is the one I have, and I know some people have like an issue with it because it's like they got rid of Cyber Bunny for Cyber Kitty. And I'm like, Okay, they got rid of a bunny and they replaced it with a cat. There's no special powers that either one has. I don't know. To me, it's like, I mean, it would have. The Cyber Bunny probably would have made me laugh because it would have made me think of Codename Kids Next Door, because I know number 3, like, she kept on riding around in a mechanical bunny rabbit she called Hippity Hop, so I would nickname the Cyber Bunny Hippity Hop to, like, pay homage to Codename Kids Next Door, and then all I could hear is number 3 going, "Let's go, Hippity Hop, whee!" But I do like this game. I like the strategy that goes into this, but it is fairly easy enough for relatively any age to get into this. Remember, this is family games. We got to make sure the whole family can be playing these games. Unless you are 3 or younger, then most likely you probably shouldn't be playing these games. But, you know, it's up to your parents, whatever. So, number 7, King of Tokyo. Okay, so number 6 is a very pun game. You know, it's very punny, and it is Disney's Jungle Cruise, and you know, it's pretty cool. It's got the 8th wonder of the world, as you all know, the backside of water. Yeah, that's right. You know. This game's pretty fun. It captures, if the Jungle Cruise ride is like one of your favorite rides at Disneyland, Disney World, or whatever Disney theme park you like, this is pretty much the game for you. I think anybody of any age can get into this. I mean, I think the pieces are large enough where even like these little kids can kind of just sit around and watch, or kind of be like a little helper, or however you want to play. I mean, I don't think they're that small where they can get into the mouth and down the throat. I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't want to read into what Jordan's whispering over behind the camera. So I do like this game. I like how every time you play this game, it's different because you have to randomly shuffle who the winning family is. So it's not always the same family. You also can make a choice where you just kind of ride on through, get to the end, and then possibly win. Or you could try to kind of deduce and pick up the right family along the way so you can really rack up those points. Now, I remember one of the times I played it, not my first time I played it, it was, I managed to get all the way to the end with all my passengers in one piece, and since I had all my passengers in one piece, I had enough of the family, the chosen family, to win, and then I had enough points to win the game. It was pretty cool. Never happened again. It only happened once. I'm trying to repeat it. It's never going to happen. But number 6, Jungle Cruise by Ravensburger. Okay, so number 5 is Toy Story Obstacles and Adventures, which I wrote a little bit of an abbreviation kind of thing. I put O and A, and I thought it was a Q&A, and I'm like, what's Toy Story Q&A? It's usually question and answer. I'm like, is this a trivia game? But no, so Toy Story Obstacles and Adventures is just another one of those games, kind of like Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, except instead of like taking away dark marks from different locations, what you do is you try to complete the obstacles and finish the game before this certain thing happens in the game. So it's like Andy gets to his new house, or the plane takes off and Woody ends up going to Japan. I don't know what Toy Story 3 is, but I think it's like don't get crushed by the garbage. Oh yeah, don't get burned alive. Family picture. Yeah, does everybody remember that scene in Toy Story 3 where like the toys almost got all burnt alive and they all were holding hands in that fire pit and everything? Because it's a family picture. Jordan's crying. But yeah, that's a touching moment. And it's also got some of the shorts too. So you know, I did think about doing Harry Potter, but I think we've done Harry Potter enough mentioned Harry Potter enough on this channel, so I thought I'd give Toy Story a better shout out. And we went with Toy Story because it's a little more famous than Harry Potter. Although, granted, I haven't really made the comparison. And I would also take out any controversial stuff, you know. That's not why we didn't pick it. We picked it because Toy Story would probably resonate with families. It would probably, you know, you get teenagers, you could get kids, you can get, you know, adults, all sorts of ages into this game. So, number 5, Toy Story, Obstacles and Adventures. Okay, so number 4 is, I believe, the only game that has the longest title in this list, which is Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a gemstone mining game. Gosh. So in Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the gemstone mining game, you each get to play as one of these 7 dwarves. Doc, Happy, Dopey, Dumpy, Grumpy, you know. I was trying to rush through it, okay? Whatever. So, you know, Bashful, Sleepy, all those guys. You don't get to play as Snow White. She's a computer player. Kind of. So you complete, like, daily requests from Snow White, which can get you a lot of pie points. The whole point of the game is just to collect gems so you can get pie points. The one with the most points wins. You can also add in extra cards to give it a little more take that energy. You can take them out to make it a little more easier, so that way you can play it with a little more family friendly vibe to it if you don't feel like your kids are ready for something like that. Or, see, I always argue take that element in kids games needs to be more you know, there. It has to have a larger presence, because I feel like a lot more kids would love to just, you know, like, really go, take that, Mom and Dad. But I know they might not be able to take the hit back. And that's the problem right there. That can be the problem right there, you know, that they won't know how to take a hit. They can dish it out, but they won't be able to take it. But it's fun with or without the take that element. We've played it with it. We've played it without it. I think we're leaning more towards, for my family, we're leaning more towards with it, not without it. But we're all, like, in our 20s. So, you know, but I think if we teach, like, because I'm going to have my great-nephew and his siblings over here soon. I think if I'm going to teach that game to them, I'll probably take out the take that element. Because he's 10, so he could probably dish it out and take it. But his brother is like 5. So, you know, that's not going to work. And his sister is like 2, so 3. She's 3, so, you know, small pieces. Can't play anyways. Doesn't really matter. Number 4, Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a gemstone mining game. Okay, so number 3 is one of my favorites, actually. This is all my favorites, but this is like one of my... It's number 3. It's Evolution. I love Evolution. Evolution is one of my favorite games. I love Oceans. I love Evolution. We picked Evolution because we felt like Oceans... Jordan and I constructed this list together. And we picked Evolution because we felt like Oceans was a little too advanced for, like, that... This is supposed to be kind of like any group can play this of any age. And it felt like with Oceans, there might be a little too much for that younger age, but the older age might like that more. I know I like Oceans, but that's mostly because I have such a huge Achilles heel for aquatic creatures. So, yeah, of course I'm going to love Oceans more. But I do love Evolution. And without Evolution, we probably wouldn't have Oceans. Or that new Evolution game, Evolution New World, that is still on Kickstarter. I am being such a big salesperson for North Star Games right now. And by the way, they published all these games, North Star Games. One of the best things I love about Evolution is the artwork. The artwork is so phenomenal. However, I hate to say this, but the New World artwork doesn't thrill me as much as the Evolution and Oceans game does, because that the New Evolution New World game kind of looks like they're trying to make it look as realistic as possible, which is fine. But I like that bright colors. Sometimes they don't, like, you know, they had like animals that had like blue and pink and green and all that stuff, and I was like, I don't think that's what those things were like back then. So, you know, and you know, they had some of them look pretty realistic, but I was like, you know, it just didn't pop as much. But you know, artwork isn't everything. It does look like the artwork on it still looks phenomenal because it's North Star Games, and they get some phenomenal artists. It's just this time around, I'm like, okay, it's nice, but I'm still like, but I would still say like Oceans, I would say has the best artwork out of all of them, and then I would say Evolution, then I'd say New World. But who knows? Maybe I just haven't. Maybe it's just because it's new, and I'm kind of like one of those people who wants to be a little grumpy about it. But other than that, you know, the gameplay is pretty simple. There is a younger version, the beginning, but you could really play this one with any age. There are small pieces though, so yeah, I would say be careful. All you need to do is just construct a species, give them food, knock the food off to the side, and then the one with the most points wins. If tied, there's a thing. I believe it's the most population breaks the tie. If you are still tied, then you all order a pizza and play again. That is why this is in the number 3 spot. Although, granted, because it said pizza, I probably should have made it my number 1 because I do love pizza. But yes, number 3, Evolution by North Star Games. Okay, number 2 is the game Ticket to Ride. This, I believe, Jordan picked. Yes, we specifically picked the U.S. map because, now I'm saying this strictly, I'm not saying this because we live in the U.S., I'm just saying this, the U.S. map is like one of the simplest maps you can play, and like I said, we've been constructing these games based off of how far of an age gap can there be for this, and this one had the lowest age gap in my opinion. I think like you could still do like the Nordic countries and maybe even Europe, maybe, but like rails and sails, that'd be a definite no. I would say Europe, it's a possibility, but I don't think so. I guess the only reason you'd want to play those is if you live in that kind of area. Nordic countries is definitely a very simple. Actually, if I would say, it's simpler than the U.S. map. The U.S. map is the first one. Usually, the first one's like simplified, and then everything else gets all wild and crazy and wacky. But this one is, I mean, it's fun. However, there is a moment like the closer you get to the end of the game where you get like frustrated because you need that one card. And, like, everybody keeps taking that one card before you can do it. But they're not doing it on purpose. Because they don't know where you're actually going. They can kind of deduce it a bit. But, like, what's the point of taking that card? Because that's going to sabotage them as well. So that's what I like about this game. Is it's like, you can't really sabotage your opponents that much on purpose. If anybody disagrees with me, that's perfectly fine. You can just put that down in the comments below. But that's one of the reasons why this one is my number 2. It's because not that much sabotaging. There is small pieces, though. So keep that away from those little ones that are grabbing and just want to stick stuff in their mouths. So, number 2, Ticket to Ride, the U.S. map. Okay, so number 1 is the game Stuffed Fables by Plaid Hat Games. This game is a role-playing game where people can take on the roles of these different little stuffed animals called stuffies, and they get like stuffing for health and all this really cool stuff. They get to go on this really cool adventure. You can really get into this as an adult. You can get into this as a child. There are small pieces again. Warning, if you have those I mean, like, I feel like if your child is one of those kids that's like, okay, who kind of understands because when I was a little kid, I understood, like, oh, don't put that in my mouth. This is, like, this is something that you shouldn't be doing that with. I was one of those kids. I know they're out there. But, the standard practice is, if you're 3 or younger, no touchy. If you're 4 or older, have fun. But this one is, it's really fun. It says it's for 8-year-olds, but I honestly think you could go 7, 6, maybe even 5. For this game, you get to play as stuffed animals. You get to go through these books, kind of facing nightmares and stuff. Jordan and I still haven't finished the full book. We're still working on chapter 2. But it's fun. I know some people complain, one of the major complaints about this game is it's a game that you can't put on pause. I think you could put it on pause. I mean, like, if you could put a bookmark in a book, I mean, if you can't put a bookmark in a book, and they even have a bookmark token. I believe that's the first player token, but still. They have like a bookmark token. You put that bookmark token in there, you're fine, you're good. Take a picture of like how the board was set up if you need to. It's perfectly fine. Or you can just finish that page, flip the page, put the bookmark in before you set up the game, and then that's it. Pack it up and then unpack it the next time. Boom. Boom. I fixed the I fixed the problem. I fixed the problem, Okay. But anyways, I do like this game. I'm hoping to not beat it, but get far enough in that before I start getting the expansion, Oh Brother, where they add 2 new stuffies. Although, granted, I don't know why they're still called stuffies, because one of the stuffies is an action figure, which means he's made out of plastic. So how can he still be called a stuffy? I feel like I'm overthinking this. I may be overthinking this. But, anyways, number 1, Stuffed Fable. Well, there you have it, folks. There are my top 10 favorite family games. Why did I pick this list? We're getting into those summer times, hopefully. Yeah, we are. We're getting into summer. Kids are going to be let out of school. There's going to be summer vacation. And then there's going to be those rainy days that, everybody's going to be bored out of their mind. Or, who knows, someone might get sick and they have to stay indoors. So, yeah, these are just some games you might want to play to occupy the time. I thought about putting Sheriff of Nottingham in there, but I don't know why. It was hard. This list was really, really hard to put together because there's a lot of family games out there. There's a lot of games you can play with your family. I didn't put Settlers of Catan. Like I said, there's a lot of games that you can put with your family, and one of the things was I was trying to branch out from, like, I feel like Catan and Ticket to Ride are the most famous, so I was kind of trying to avoid that, but I knew I had to also include one of them at some point as well. I don't know. What are your favorite family games or games you like to play with your family? Yeah, what are some of your favorite games you like to play with your family? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear that. But if you enjoyed this video, please give a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for top 10s lists just like this one. And if you're a big fan of the channel as a whole, consider becoming a Patreon supporter on our Patreon page. You still have some time. Our Mother's Day poll is going on right now. Currently, it's all Ticket to Ride maps. So if you love Ticket to Ride, it's just voting on which Ticket to Ride map would you like us to feature on the channel. It's really interesting. I picked this one because both my mother and my mother-in-law love Ticket to Ride. So I thought, as a tribute to them for Mother's Day, I would just do Ticket to Ride. And I might do this. I can't do it every year. I'm sorry, I can't do it every year. Because eventually, I'm going to run out of Ticket to Ride games. I got, like, pretty much all the map packs. And then there would be, like, the 3 mini boards. I guess I could do those. But, yeah, eventually I'm gonna hit a wall. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, please check out our polls on our social media pages, Patreon, and here on YouTube. Be on the lookout for that how to play video, plus the gameplay video for Fossilis that's coming out soon. But until then, thanks for the views.